Told you I'd be back, didn't I? So, it's time for a coffee. That last video I uploaded today, this is a bit noisy, I do apologise. That last video I uploaded today, just giving an update to the week, and stuff like that, things we've been talking about. That got flagged by YouTube and restricted. That's an example of what I mean. And I didn't swear in that video. So I've appealed, and I'll win the appeal, but it takes forever. It's just a nightmare. It hasn't been too bad this week, to be honest, so that's why I'm not freaking out too much about it. But it's very annoying. There you go. So I just watched the Jurgen Klopp press conference. The reason I'm making this video is that I think you should go and watch that press conference today. I don't know if you watch all the press conferences. I don't, to be honest, because usually I read the text form. If watching the press conference can take quite a long time if you're doing other things. If I can get a transcript of it, I prefer to read that. If I then detect something as, there might have been a bad vibe in the press conference, like we had with James Pearce the other week, then I want to view that and see that. I want to see the manager's mannerisms. But I think you should see today's press conference. That is one that you should watch. James Pearce, nowhere to be seen or heard, unless I'm missing something. But he was a bit. He was pushed by a journalist today regarding Jordan Henderson. And this journalist actually really went for the boss, I felt today. I don't know who that journalist was. Do you know who that was? I don't know who it was. I only listened to it once. And I think I was eating my meatballs at the time. Hey, they're all gone. Right? And so, priorities and things like that. But it bordered on rude, I thought, to be honest with you, towards the manager. And he didn't look very happy about it. And I think that was evident in his response, although he was firm, but, he was polite. And, people have commented this last week about how his, that exchange with James Pearce in the week and how he must apologise. Didier Man said he must apologise. We had Richard Keys, hairy hands, he's chiming in saying once a manager starts attacking the press. He wasn't attacking the press. He was pulling up James Pearce specifically. However, the boss has shown signs of pressure. And there has been times previously when a journalist has asked him a question and I've thought, come on, Jurgen, he's only asking like a fair question. So he's definitely feeling the pressure, to be honest with you. But I do think you should watch today's press conference to understand what I'm talking about. And it's important to evaluate that. And it's always a sign that things are not good. And, and just please watch it if you're gonna do anything today, all right? That's my dog Remy kicking off. I couldn't find my Liverpool cup. I must have used it earlier. I'm using my cat. Now this was a gift of someone who shall not be named. Someone that I used to be very close to on here. But if I tell you, Seano is, Seano is Seano. Seano, if you hear me mention Seano, he's just like, one of our, main men that participates in the streams on a weekend, and he used to do with Fenway not to play and all that. I consider him a good friend, and on a weekend he spends most of Saturday nights after midnight when I'm lashed up telling me not to utter said person's name. So I can't tell you. So that's that. Thiago, obviously we've heard that he's not trained, which isn't good. Obviously, I've got to be honest with you. I love this fixture, but the way that everything's going at the moment, we really. Get down. We really need a win. I mean, it could just lift the mood a little bit. The mood's really. I mean, like this week, I mentioned it in my previous video. This week, I felt a bit like really depressed. Thinking about the ownership situation and that, and if nothing comes to fruition, which. A week ago I was like, yeah, I really, really think we're going to be sold, guys. I can see it. I still think that's going to happen, but I don't feel as confident as I did like a week ago. Maybe that'll change. I think maybe, I did a video on here for the channel members earlier in the week for A Quiet Life to do with, people that FSG have apparently sat down with recently, and that didn't exactly fill me with excitement. But maybe it's not related, who knows. So yeah, anyway, I just think, if it doesn't go well, we've got some like games coming up that could, oh man, it's just not even worth thinking about if we lose these games, because it'll be, if you think it's toxic now, it's going to be terrible. And I genuinely think all of us should take a couple of weeks off if things go wrong over the coming weeks, with this game, Real Madrid, things like that. I think if that happens, I think we all have to go, do you know what, let's just step down for a bit, because it will be a cesspit online, and I think all of us should just take time out and go and do a jigsaw or something like that for a bit, because it's going to be mental if things go wrong. On the other hand, and I'm not listen, right? We've had games recently, and you guys have said, "Oh, I'm going to get hammered," and I'm like, "Don't be like that, guys. We should be up for this game. Let's go for it." But anything can happen, and if we get the result against Everton that we want, that could really, really lift the mood, and I think we all need that at the moment. Whatever side of the fence we are, whether you're a top red, or if you're a tour rag like me, because I want the Middle East people in, hang on a minute. Does that mean is it conservative if you? I don't know, what is it? I mean, if you're a top red, you don't want the Middle East, do you? Because you've got these other values and that. So if you do want them, what does that mean? It means you're desperate. That's what that means. I saw what was it yesterday? What was that, Martin Broughton? Did you see what Martin Broughton had to say? Go to www.KopTalk.com. There's a news article on there, what he said. And he was saying that, when his failed bid of Chelsea, he got to, learn a few things and bits and pieces, and he doesn't think anyone will pay the amounts that we want and Manchester United, not we, FSG want and the Glazers want, because he thinks that the investors that he was involved with were more attracted to London, so they're not going to pay this huge price to go up to the northwest of England. It didn't affect Manchester City, and it certainly didn't affect Newcastle. They've got great owners. I mean, I know we are all going to say the Man City people are awful people at the moment because they've been breaking rules. That's another topic. I don't want our club to ever operate like that. I'll be honest with you. And it's a fair point. People this week have said, "Do you still feel the same about Middle East?" Well, why not? You can't. In society, we see video clips of police officers beating people. That doesn't mean then that we turn around and go, "Oh, police, are awful people." There are just good and bad in every walk of life, And sorry, I was just thinking about that lad that got beat up. He got killed, didn't he, in America? That's mental, isn't it? But and that makes it so difficult for all the other police officers that have to go to work and are subjected to the harassment from the knock-on effects of stuff like that. So then you've got this from, we have this from that region, don't we? The Middle East, they've done some bad things there over the years, and then everybody lumps everybody in that region into that bracket. But we don't seem to do that in the West, do we? We don't seem to do that. We judge all them and go, they're pesky people, aren't they? We don't know what to do with them. Oh, aren't they awful, the way they live their lives? But our governments go and do things on the West, and a lot of us turn a blind eye to that. Oh, it's just, we're saving the world, aren't we? Policing the world. It's hypocritical. Anyway, we don't want to go down that route. But Martin Broughton, he was saying, and I did see a Twitter account yesterday, one of these so-called, I think they want to think they're an ITK account, and they'd put out, they changed the words a little bit about Broughton to make it sound like he had said that the Americans, the FSG, are not good owners. That's not what he said. And they also spelled his name wrong, called him Broughton or something like that. So if you can't get the names right, then... Anyway, and... what was I talking about? What he said was they are not just good owners. They are not just good owners, they're good in this regard, is the point that I can't quote word for word, but he didn't say they're not good owners. It's just someone being a bit naughty. But he was saying that they're not just good owners. It'd be difficult to say. And I'm reading his comments and I'm thinking, mind your business. Do you know what I mean? Mind your business. Don't be putting stuff out like that out there. Do you know what I mean, Martin Broughton? It's all right for him, it's Sir Michael Broughton, innit? Chelsea fan. Mind your business. Anyway. And I think he was kind of alluding to that people that he knew, you know, have asked questions about Liverpool and that. But that's that chap in, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Listen, there's a guy that tried to buy Chelsea recently, and I don't know if it was part of the Martin Broughton bid. I don't know. But I think he means him. And this guy has failed to get Chelsea. I don't know if he was as part of that group with Martin Broughton or not. I'm not sure. But I think he's talking about... Oh, God, I'm really not explaining myself here very well. Martin Broughton seemed to allude that people maybe have been in his ear, you know, about buying football clubs and things, and possibly Liverpool, but it had gone quiet or something like that. And I think that one of those people is the guy that tried to buy Chelsea, because that guy was recently, allegedly, talking to John Henry and co. And I think that he thinks, this particular American investor thinks Liverpool Football Club is too expensive. I heard that recently. This American investor thinks Liverpool Football Club is too expensive, which then kind of backs up what Broughton was saying when he said, well, I think that people that were interested in buying Chelsea might not pay as much money to go into the north of England. Does that make sense? I don't think I've explained it very well at all. I'm not starting again. I'll be here all day. The people that was involved in buying Chelsea are going to be different people to it that's involved wanting to buy Liverpool Football Club. And I personally don't want someone that's going around going, well, have that. Should we have that one? Or should we have that one? Should we have that? I don't want that. I don't think that's good. I like people that have got, like a connection, to our club and want it for the right reasons. Maybe that's too sentimental and too romantic in the modern, day and money. And I understand that someone could buy the club and maybe, become to love the club or something. Who knows? I guess sentimental, I would have loved or would love Dubai, to come in, because I know that the people there have always had an affiliation to our club. Very quiet at the moment from there. Wait! Chasing the cat now. The cat's about 25 years old. It can hardly move. And he thinks he's clever chasing a cat. Wait! Div? Alright, I'm off. Sorry, this video's all over. Disregard all of that, what I've just said. Scratch it from the record. And please go and watch today's press conference. And would you agree with me that journalist was a bit like... it felt like he was James Pearce's mate, yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. It felt like he was going, I've never heard a journalist like that to the boss before, unless I'm missing something. And maybe I was too focused on my meatballs and I'm totally over-exaggerating it. But you go and watch the press conference and let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. All right? Thanks to whoever sent me my cup a while ago. I didn't mention the name, Seano.